G'day everyone and welcome to this week's episode. This week we are going to talk about preparation for the Gibb River Road. So it isn't as scary as people make out, the Gibb River Road. It is a dirt corrugated road. We'll start first with water. So you need to figure out how much water you're going to use. For us, for me and Renee, we use just under 30 litres a day on average, living off grid. That's showering every day, cooking, washing, doing dishes. Now, to get our water level to that level, that means jumping in the shower, turning the shower on, getting wet, turning the shower off, lathering up, washing, and then turning the shower back on and rinsing to save water.
We also just hold our dishes under the sink until the evening, so we only wash once a day.
Wash our dishes once a day. So,
which takes some getting used to and some planning around what you do during the day, I guess.
Another tip or trick is to get a spray bottle, put some soapy water into that, and you can use that to spray down your dishes and give them a wipe over
with a paper
if they're
towel.
not badly soiled.
With a paper towel, and then you can just burn your paper towel in your fire pit, so you don't have to carry that rubbish out, which is an issue we'll talk about later on.
So there is plenty of water on the Gibb River Road.
We also don't have a flushing toilet.
No, we don't have a flushing toilet, and that saves us a lot of water.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next thing, toilet cassettes. So there is plenty of water available on the Gibb River Road. You can fill up in Derby if you're starting at the western end, or in either Wyndham or Kununurra if you're starting at the eastern end. There is water at El Questro, there is water at Mount Hart, there is water at Mount Barnett, there is water at Alumbre, there is water at Drysdale Station, there is water at Imogee, there is water everywhere along
water isn't
River.
an issue along the Gibb. Like, getting water to fill your van isn't an issue. We did carry our water bladder to make it easy, so that if we were there for a couple of days, we could not fill up when it was peak hour for water filling, and Sean could take the car up to the water fill point later in the afternoon or the evening and fill up the water bladder, bring it back to the caravan and fill it that way, so we weren't parked with the car and the van in the long queue waiting for everyone.
10 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning when everyone's trying to leave a station.
That just looked like a nightmare to me.
That is a nightmare. So water isn't a problem. As Renee said, we don't have a flushing toilet, we don't have a cassette toilet, we have a Ogo composting toilet. There is absolutely nowhere to empty a toilet cassette
legally
anywhere on the Gibb River Road. From when you leave Derby or Kununurra to when you get to the other end, you must carry your black water with you. There is nowhere to get rid of it. So you need to figure out how many cassettes you need to carry.
How many people,
how many
and
times
how long you are going off grid
for. So we spoke to and have seen people, families of 4 and 5, who are doing 2 weeks on the Gibb River Road with 2 cassettes. I don't know how they're doing that. I'm not going to accuse anyone of doing the wrong thing, but I do not know how they can do that. That just wouldn't work for us.
Or anyone we know.
So the composting toilet gives us about a month. So we've been off road now for about a month, and we're just about at the point where I need to change out the peat, the compost. Now with a composting toilet, you can literally, because it is inert compost, you literally just bag it up into a rubbish bag and you can throw it into a bin and get rid of it.
We double bag it.
We double bag it, but it is inert and it doesn't smell. It is, for us,
there's nothing to see except what looks like potting mix.
The other thing with the van is preparing your van for stones and rocks. You are going to get a lot of fly rock damage on the Gibb River Road or any off-grid roads.
Any corrugated road.
So where we're sitting here at the moment, we have all of this type of rock. Now as you're driving along on the road, that is all flying up from the back of your car and being pelted onto the front of your van or underneath your van. Now for us, we chose to go for a stone stomper which is effectively a net that runs from the back of the car to the front of the van. And I also did some underbody protection of the caravan. I put lagging on all of our exposed hard pipes.
A lot of people use pool noodles.
Pool noodles will do, yeah, but I just went down to Bunnings and grabbed some lagging. It was about $3 a metre or something.
Yeah.
It's black. I put it on with black cable tyres. For me, it was just better than having
brightly coloured
pool noodles underneath my van. That's just me. The other thing I installed is this mud flap that runs along the front cross beam of our van to catch any fly rock and deflect it away.
To try and protect our water
tanks
and pipes and systems underneath.
Dust reduction. So our van has the Dometic DRS, dust reduction system, which is not a powered system, so you don't turn it on.
Yeah, which was weird for us.
Yeah, it's literally, there's a blanking plate. You remove the blanking plate inside, and that allows, as you're driving down the road, goes through a turbine, forces the air into your van, pressurizes your van to help keep the dust out. Now that's great. If you don't have a dust reduction system in your caravan, you don't need to go and install one to go and do off-roading.
No.
You can tape up your vents.
Yeah, or like we saw on someone else's van, they had ones specially made with those, you know, those little slidey.
Yeah, so they had sail trim put onto their van.
And then that was press-studded.
Yeah, and just press-studded vinyl.
Yeah, and that worked a treat.
Vents. So one of the other things that we do is our door has a vent on it, and so I just got a bit of mat from Kmart and we cut that down and we slide that between the vent and the fly screen door and close that, and that helps to keep the dust out as well.
We have the vent because it is just a standard caravan door.
Yeah. And
even though we'd decided to go gasless,
we didn't want to pay for an upgraded door.
Yeah, we've just got that, and it's like, it is what it is.
So dust reduction. So yeah, tape up your vents. Service. Get your van serviced before you go. So wheel bearings, brakes, go through, make sure everything's working. Check your tow hitch. Check all your lights.
Grease everything up.
Grease everything up. Make sure it is ready, because it is going to work hard going down the Gibb River
The
Road.
other thing you did was you used that yellow pen to mark.
Yeah, so I got a yellow marking pen and I marked every one of the nuts and bolts underneath our van, including our wheel nuts, of where they were when they were torqued up and tensioned. So all I needed to do every night was climb underneath the van and check those yellow markers, and if they were in the same position and they lined up, I didn't need to get any tools out. The other thing is spare parts. So you need to have spare parts for everything on your van that may break. That's fuses, light globes, nuts, bolts. Get an assortment of nuts, bolts and washers.
Pre-package your wheel bearings.
Yeah, pack it with grease at home and then vacuum seal it so that it is ready to go. If you have a seized wheel bearing on the side of the road, the last thing you want to be doing is mucking around with grease trying to pack it. So
in red dirt.
Save yourself that hassle, pre-pack them and vacuum seal it before you go.
Future you will thank you.
Yeah, repair gear. So putty to repair water tanks if they get pierced.
We got that waterproof tape or water.
Yeah, it's like a Gorilla Tape. That's a waterproof tape.
Yeah, so it's meant for wet areas.
Yep. So while your water tank is leaking, you can literally just whack this tape on it and stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So repair gear for your van.
I got some tape for your fly screen. You can get it's like a roll of tape, and we got that because we've seen people there. Was one couple that we saw, their dogs dived through their fly screen. We didn't take any dogs with us, but I was very mindful that things happen on the road, accidents happen. So
the tyre pressure monitoring system. Do you need one? Well, they are handy when they work. Ours didn't for the first while and then it suddenly decided to start playing. Do you need one? Yes, they are handy as giving you a warning system for a slow leak. Are they going to help you if you have a blowout?
No.
what you can do if you don't want to spend the money on a tyre pressure monitoring system, they're not cheap. They're about $800 for a set that'll cover your van and your car, and about $500 for a set just for the van. If you don't want to spend that sort of money, stop every 50, 100 k's or so and get out and kick your tyres. Yeah, check them with a tyre gauge.
Yeah, check your tyre pressures. Feel them. Are they hot? Are they hot?
All right, interior.
Oh, that's me. What did I do inside? I was very strategic.
We've got some notes we wrote before.
Oh, I can't read that.
Okay, so heavy items.
I was very strategic with what I bought food-wise to go along. I see people going crazy with food. There's actually no need to go crazy with food along the Gibb. It's
you can buy staples along the way. It's expensive.
They are very expensive.
Very expensive.
They are very expensive. I prepared a lot of meals beforehand, so I did we sort of knew how long we were going to be on the Gibb. So I made pre-prepared like some chili beef, some satay chicken, a couple of curries. So I prepared some of that so it was easy just to add rice or pasta or those sort of things, or we could have potatoes in the fire and add the chili beef on it and that sort of thing. So that was easy. I very deliberately didn't buy anything in jars. I bought tinned, or I looked around for dehydrated or freeze-dried or powdered versions of what I would normally do. It was
powdered potato. I hadn't had Deb since I was in the army.
It's good stuff.
And you couldn't tell, seriously, you cannot tell the difference.
Good stuff. And freeze-dried peas. I add them to everything.
Freeze-dried peas, yeah.
They
dehydrated goods.
Yeah, I found some freeze-dried or dehydrated stir-fry veggies. They were in Woolies, but I think they've sold out now. But they were amazing. I've added them to a few things on the road. Same as with coconut milk and coconut cream, you can get that powdered, so I bought that. It decreases your weight but also decreases your risk of spillage. So that's what I did. I packed the heavy canned and bottled stuff, like the PET bottles. I packed them over the wheels and down low and utilised the floor cupboards. Alcohol we decanted and put into plastic containers. We did have 2 of the whiz bang squeeze it.
Yeah, I'll drop some
ones.
footage in.
But if you can't afford that, and had to do that with the milk, we had a leak with the milk, and so I actually just decanted the milk into just your one litre drink bottle.
Yeah, plastic PET bottle.
Yeah,
like.
And I would just put alcohol in that.
Empty Coke bottle or lemonade bottle or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and write on what it was. Yeah. Renee's vodka, don't touch.
Not water. Don't take it on a hike with you.
So did that. I got some child safety lock things off Temu. I just got the black ones. We will swap them over to white because they fit the aesthetic of our van better. But they're needed for all your drawers and cupboards, which may come open on the corrugated.
Will rattle open with the weight of the stuff in them. Yeah. And the latches are not designed for that, so these child straps or some form of child-proof lock work really well. They're only a couple of bucks from Temu.
Yeah, they were really easy.
They work really well, and we'll change them out for something that looks a little bit better when we get home. The
decorations, I make sure that they're lightweight, and I always pack them into my bucket in the sink. And then I also do. I have a system for packing on the road for the days when we're travelling. Doesn't matter whether we're corrugations or travelling on the highway. I do exactly the same thing every time. I start at the front of the van and I do the cupboards, the windows, the Sirocco fans, and I check and make sure that they're all done. The roof hatch, I make sure that's we have to have them open. Our manufacturer told us that we need to travel with our blinds. Yeah, our blinds need to be open. But I check all the locks on the windows. Our doors, we've got sliding doors in our van, and they've got a tonneau cover lock on the door, but also a floor press your foot lock thing that has to be down, and I do that for the front of the van. Then I go into the bathroom, and it's the lid on the urine capsule in the
canister in the
toilet. Make sure that I put the shower head into a little keepsake, and he goes on the floor because we don't want him jiggling around and cracking the base of the shower. And then the bathroom door locked, and then the same for that.
Yeah, so effectively you just start from one end
and you've got to have a system. Yeah. And then once I'm done in there, you don't go back in there, because if someone goes back in there, they'll go in and it's like, oh, I forgot my hat, and then their cupboard won't be locked. But you have gone in and you think you've done everything, but someone's gone and undone it. And that's how accidents happen, and you get to wherever you're going and the cupboard will be open and everything will be everywhere.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the van. For the car, we did a paint. Oh, the other thing we did in preparation for the van for the exterior was we did
you got that film?
I got some window protection film from Bunnings and put that on our windows. Now the windows on a caravan, they're only a perspex, and they're really soft, and so you go past a tree and you end up with a great gouge in the window. Now some of the smaller ones you can polish out. We want to keep the resale on our van, and we want it to look good, and the last thing we want when we're sitting at beautiful places like where we are now is to be looking through a scratched window when we're sat inside looking outside. So we got that. Look, it's not a perfect job. I put it on 2 days before we left for the Gibb, and when we get home we can take that off and we can get a professional paint protection film put on those windows.
We just didn't have time. But it is better than the alternative of having scratched windows. So
that, they'll mark up and I can take them off and throw that in the bin. It was $60 a roll and I used 1 and a bit rolls, so $120. To me that's pretty cheap insurance. The car, like, we did spend the money and get paint protection film put on the car. I didn't do the whole car, I didn't do the bonnet, and I didn't do the roof, I just did the sides. I didn't do the tailgate, so I did the sides.
Where we would get the scratches.
Where you're going to get the scratches as you go past trees and branches and stuff like that going down some of the tracks. We got more scratches going into Windarabandi on the Ningaloo than you'll get on the Gibb River Road. Got the car serviced before we headed off. Carry spare parts, so I went down and picked up a spare part kit from
the service kit
service kit. So it comes with an air filter, an oil filter, a cabin filter, fuel filters, I think I mentioned that, fuel filter, oil filter, air filter, cabin filter, spare belt, enough oil for whatever your engine needs. So this needs 6 litres. Radiator fluid.
You got the concentrate?
I got the concentrate so that I can mix it up, so I don't have to carry 6 litres of it. I can just carry 1 litre of it and make it up with some water. Good quality tyres, spare parts for your car. So again, if your car has globes, spare fuses, every size for your car, some nuts, some bolts, cable ties, twitching wire, stuff will rattle loose, on your car on the Gibb River Road. Good quality tyres.
It was their caravan. It was on their caravan. They were changing the tyre on one of their studs. Yeah,
so carrying spare studs, wheel studs, is a good idea too for your car and your van. If you're lucky enough to have same size studs and stud pattern and tyre, rim, etc. As your car and van, lucky you. Most people aren't going to have that, so carry for both. Same with the wheel bearings.
And spare nuts,
wheel nuts, I also carry a spare hitch pin for our tow hitch, and tools. So tools to service and fix your car and caravan to a point, right? To whatever you're capable of doing yourself. a compressor, because you're going to have to air up and air down. Yeah, so a good compressor that has the duty cycle in order to be able to pump up the 8 tyres and quickly and up to the pressures that are required. So our van requires 50 psi in the caravan tyres, and there's 4 of them. So if you've got a cheap and nasty, really low yielding air compressor, you're going to be on the side of the road for a while.
And
do you need to go and spend $10,000 or $1,000 or more
to get one fitted
into your car? Absolutely not. I've literally got just a portable one that I picked up from Auto Pro. It works fine. It powers along. I cut the cigarette plug off of it and I put an Anderson plug on it, and I plug it into the Anderson plug on the back of my car, so that way I don't have to muck around with either running it from the cigarette lighter or from battery clips, because battery's at the front of your car, so then you need a hose long enough to get all the way back to the back of your van.
Yeah.
The Anderson plug in our car is at the back of the car, so that shortens the distance to the back of the van, so one hose does it really
because
easily.
we've got an extended drawbar, so that makes it even longer.
A torque wrench.
Yeah.
Must have a torque wrench, so that you can check the tension on your wheel nuts.
And a decent wheel brace.
And a decent wheel brace. One that doesn't flare out the first time you try and loosen a tight wheel or tighten a wheel nut.
Yeah,
like
don't trust the one that comes with the van.
Yeah.
It's cheap and nasty.
Do you need a snorkel?
No.
Absolutely not. Yes, there's water crossings. We this year is a wet season. The deepest water crossing, 600 mil. To know the wading depth of your car, and you can get that by googling it. Yeah, find out what the wading depth is for your car. We don't have a snorkel on our Ranger because we have a dual battery system in it, so I can't fit a snorkel because the second battery sits where the snorkel goes. We had no dramas at all. Yeah,
no.
So the wading depth on ours is 800 mil.
But we also have no intentions of doing deep.
I don't want to
crossings.
sink my car. Yeah, it's my car. Yeah, it's for us. That vehicle has to be able to get us around and get us home. Yeah, so it's not like it's some bunkie that I can just throw into.
Yeah.
Shot over canyon, whatever it is, and
yeah,
I just can't do that.
But there are people who love doing that sort of stuff.
If that's your thing,
and if that's your thing, then fit the snorkel and put the lift kit in.
But do you need it to do the Gibb?
No.
No. You could pretty much get to most places on the Gibb in a 2-wheel drive car.
Well, we've seen them.
Yeah. So on the Gibb, the sort of things that we did, check your gear every single day. So every single day, either when we got into camp or before we headed off the next day, I would walk around the car and van and physically check everything, put my hands on it and give it a shake and make sure that it was still tight. We had our aerial vibrating loose on the Ningaloo, and that continued.
And the
that was the CB
mirrors,
aerial.
the wing
mirrors, yeah. So towing mirrors on your van. Almost lost them.
It's just keeping an eye on things as you're driving along.
Yeah. Wheel nuts will vibrate loose. Nuts and bolts underneath.
In the van, even the nuts and bolts and things in the van, they wriggle loose and you've got to tighten them up.
After our first day, we found random washers on the Ningaloo, didn't we? You would have seen in an earlier video. Stuff rattles loose. So go around every day and check it. If you're doing an area that's really rough corrugations, pull over every 30 k's or so and just have a quick walk around your car and make sure everything's where it still is. The amount of license plates we saw hanging off the front of cars.
Almost lost yours.
Almost lost mine. Slow down. You're not on it's not the Gibb River race, it is the Gibb River Road. Right? You're on holiday, enjoy it. The amount of people we've seen doing 80 to 100k an hour down the Gibb River Road, throwing rocks, dirt and shit everywhere.
Got to get over the corrugations.
Yeah. No, you don't. Yes, you've got to find a pace, like you don't want to be falling into every corrugation on the road, but high tyre pressures and high speed help cause larger corrugations. Slow down.
Let your tyres
down.
Let
your tyres down. Courtesy. So let's talk about courtesy on the Gibb River Road or remote anywhere. if you see a car pulled over on the side of the road, slow down to walking pace as you pass that, before you get to that vehicle.
Wind your window down.
Wind your window down. Have the conversation with the person. Are you okay? Do you need a hand? Racing past at 60 kilometres an hour, throwing dust, stones and corruption at them,
And
giving them a thumbs up, going boom. By the time they've reacted to it, you're down the road going, look at me, I've done the right thing. That doesn't help anyone, right? Most people are fine. They're just off the side of the road having a comfort break, or stretching their legs, or tightening something, or changing a tyre, and they're generally pretty happy to do that by themselves. But the last thing they want while they're trying to work in the heat, dust and dirt is for you to come past and throw dirt and rocks and shit all over them.
It's not just about that though, it's when you go past another
Yeah.
car in the other direction.
So as you approach a car coming towards you on the Gibb River Road, or on any dirt road, slow down. Lower your dust trail behind you so that the person coming towards you has a better chance of seeing what's coming. There was, whilst we were up there, a car that ploughed into the back of a caravan.
He
Slow
wrote
down.
off the caravan, and also wrote off the towing vehicle because
And his own car.
because the caravan was pushed into the towing vehicle and twisted the towing vehicle's chassis.
Yeah.
So that family,
Lucky no one was killed.
yeah,
Just people build up the Gibb River Road as some caravan killer or whatever. If you drive hard or you're unlucky, yeah, you're going to break stuff, right? If you slow down, lower your tyre pressures and drive to the conditions, you can tow anything through the Gibb River Road, right?
Yep.
I saw in 2019, this is no lie, a Mazda 121 with a rooftop tent mounted on it on the Gibb River Road, heading up the Columbaroo Road. Now the Columbaroo Road is far worse than the Gibb River Road. So absolutely you can do it.
It just takes you longer.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. But get out there, have a go. We hope this was helpful to you. It's a little bit out of sequence because we talked about what we have done in preparation. Follow on next week when we kick off our Gibb River adventures,
Yeah.
and actually start seeing some of the things that we get up to, the places we visit. This place is magical.
Love it.
If you've got any inkling, get out there and do it. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.